right-wing talk show host Allyn Root, who's on Newsmax, decided to talk about Donald Trump and how he's really just a giant gift to the Jewish people, okay? And immediately following that, Trump decided to tweet his statements, and here's what he said. Thank you to Allyn Root for the very nice words. President Trump is the greatest president for Jews and for Israel in the history of the world, not just America. He is the best president for Israel in the history of the world, and the Jewish people in Israel love him.
Before we go on to even more outrageous parts of that tweet, as it's gonna continue, best president in history of the world. Israel's been around for 70 years. So, and even if you say, hey, look, ancient Israel, etc., they didn't have presidents back then. So it's a preposterous statement. And not only that, it's not remotely true. As I've said, US presidents have literally saved Israel from getting wiped off the map. They came in to defend them militarily, etc., when they were attacked. And we have come to the aid of Israel in dozens of occasions, including many wars. So Trump, come lately, going around going, hey, I moved the embassy. I'm the greatest president for Israel in the history of the world. Allyn Root said it, and I'm quoting it. But we haven't gotten to the worst part at all.
We haven't, but I have one quick comment about the tweet, the first tweet. He's the best president for Jews in America. So was he the best president for Jews in America when he said that there were very fine people at the hate march in Charlottesville, Virginia, who were literally chanting, the Jews will not replace us? Does he really think that Jewish Americans are like, you know what, Trump's great. He's the best president ever.
He thinks that there's some very fine Nazis who were chanting those things, and at one point had surrounded a synagogue in Charlottesville and threatening them. He's been fantastic. No, he's been good for the right-wing government of specifically Benjamin Netanyahu, who has not been good for Israel, and the great majority of Jewish Americans vote against Donald Trump and against Republicans on a consistent basis because they know the reality, not the lies of Donald Trump.
So the second part of his tweet reads as follows, and the Jewish people in Israel love him like he's the king of Israel. They love him like he's the second coming of God. We'll come back to that in just a second. But American Jews don't know him or like him. They don't even know what they're doing or saying anymore. It makes no sense, but that's okay. If he keeps doing what he's doing, he's good for all Jews, blacks, gays, everyone. And importantly, he's good for everyone in America who wants a job. Wow.
So the wow is Trump. The rest is Allyn Root's quote that he is re-quoting on Twitter wholesale. Okay, so evangelical Christians, you still pretending, if you're a right winger, you're still pretending to be Christian? Can you imagine if Barack Obama called himself the second coming of God? Can you imagine if Obama said, I am the king of Israel? This liberal commentator has said, I am the king of Israel, and he's made a very brilliant point. That is right. And by the way, if you're a Jew in America who disagrees, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, he's just straight up calling Jewish people in America who don't vote for him stupid. That is what he's saying.
And get a load of that irony from the dumbest president, dumbest office holder we have ever had in this country. Okay, so.
By the way, one real quick thing. I wanted to go find the video of what Allyn Root said, and I don't think that the tweets even capture how incredibly offensive and disgusting Allyn Root's comments were. So I want to show you that video. Let's take a quick look at that, and then we'll give you some more analysis.
I've got friends that vote Democrat because their mother told them to 50 years ago. And I'm like, Jesus, times have changed. You just need to see.
But is there a crack of hope, Barney, or any of those friends whose mother told them to vote Democrat 50 years ago? Any of them switching because they've seen the light with Trump?
They won't even watch. They won't even consider. They're brainwashed.
Amazing. Yeah.
I think they're brain dead.
They're
really.
blind, deaf, and very dumb. Blind, deaf, and very dumb. Don't forget, I don't know if you haven't watched the show, I happen to be Jewish by birth, and 75% of all Jews vote Democrat, and they don't like Trump. And this is the greatest president for Jews and for Israel in the history of the world, not just America. Trump's the best president for Israel in the history of the world, and the Jewish people love him like he is the king of Israel. They love him like he is the second coming of God.
So I'm Jewish by birth, but all the Jews in America are idiots. 75% of them are morons, and they've been brainwashed. Hilarious. So look, guys, Trump said he could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and his followers wouldn't mind. If you're a real Christian, this is on that level. When someone is so full of pride that they compare themselves to Jesus Christ and they say they're the second coming of God. If a Democrat dared to do this, you know it, and I don't care how right-wing you are, you know that if Obama or Clinton or anybody had done this, that you would have gone ballistic. Imagine if Hillary Clinton said that she was the king of Israel and the second coming of God, and wrote that in a tweet like, yeah, well, of course, this guy said it, and that's right. That's me, right? Wow, yes, right? You would have gone nuts. You would have gone ballistic. But it's Trump. What are you gonna do? You're gonna forgive it and move on, because you don't really care about Christianity. You don't care at all about Christianity. You're like, who do we hate? Who do we hate? Who do we hate? You hate the same people I hate? That's all that right-wing evangelical Christianity has devolved into in this country. Does that mean it's all evangelical Christians? No, Jimmy Carter's an evangelical Christian. There's still wonderful progressive evangelical Christians, and they are some of the best people in the country, helping the poor, the homeless, the needy, etc. But the right-wing evangelicals, who do we hate? Who do we hate? Who do we hate? Oh, Trump hates the same people as me. Of course, second coming of God. That's the right thing. A real Christian would be all about prosperity gospel. You know, when Jesus came into the temple, he found the money changers and said, "Good job, make more money. Let's kick out the homeless together," right? And then he spit on the homeless. I mean, what kind of insane, bizarro Christianity is this?
Oh, everyone needs to watch The Family on Netflix because it exists. And they have deep roots in various countries, and they have a tremendous amount of influence. And they take religion, they take Christianity, and they interpret it in such a way where it justifies things like the income and wealth inequality that we're experiencing in America today.
And all the prosperity preachers flying around in their jets and saying, oh, well, of course, God doesn't want me to fly with a bunch of demons like you guys, regular people. That's what Jesus came to do, is spit on regular people, right? In the Bible, it says it's harder for a rich man to get into heaven than for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle. But these guys don't care about the Bible. These right-wing evangelicals, I think that they actually don't even like the Bible. I think that if they read the Bible, they might be shocked by it. We're supposed to help the needy and the poor and the homeless? And the rich people aren't gonna go to heaven? What kind of crap is this, right? So you're not real Christians. And by the way, the only thing you hang on to in the Bible is abortion, abortion, which is never mentioned in the Bible. Never mentioned, except the one part, of course, in Numbers where God is in favor of abortions. Look it up, look it up, look it up. Anyways, so if you're a real Christian that believes in the Sermon on the Mount, you would be deeply offended by what Trump said. If you're a fake Christian like right-wing evangelicals, and you're just looking to hate someone and that's what your identity is based around, you love Trump. And there's nothing he can say. Well, correction. If he all of a sudden turned around and said, you know what, I actually kind of like the Muslims and the Latinos, you'd be like, I bet you that's the one thing. He could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue, he can claim to be the second coming of God, that ain't gonna do it. If all of a sudden he said, you know what, we should be open-hearted to Muslims and accept them in this country. We should be open-hearted to Latino immigrants who are struggling in their own countries and accept them in this country. Boom, gone. His support would erode overnight. Right-wing evangelical Christians in this country have become a cult of hate. And that's all that they're centered around. You see this kind of offensive stuff and you still support Trump, you're a joke. You're a total and utter joke. On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.